Welcome to Open BXRX Tuesday on BronxNet. I'm your host, Sonyi Lopez, and I'd like to invite you to get social with us at BronxNet TV on Instagram and Twitter, and BronxNet Community Television on Facebook. The state Senate recently held a hearing regarding the slow rollout of rent relief through the Emergency Rental Assistance Program. The program was approved in April with $2.7 billion from both state and federal government going towards families, individuals, and landlords affected by the COVID pandemic. And now community organizations like the Neighborhood Association for Intercultural Affairs, or NAICA, are helping spread the word to ensure that Bronxites know about this critical assistance. Joining us now to share more is Marlen Valarezo, Executive Director of Legal Services at NAICA. Welcome, Marlen. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Good morning. Great to be here.
Of course. So as we mentioned, there's this emergency rental assistance program. But first, we want to learn a little bit about NAICA and your mission for anyone who's not familiar.
So NAICA was incorporated in 1974 as a not-for-profit to provide assistance to residents of the Bronx. Since 1992, NAICA has been providing free legal representation to low-income tenants of the Bronx with our primary goal to educate, uplift residents in our community.
Thank you for that, Marlen. So as we mentioned, the current eviction moratorium is set to expire today, August 31st. But President Biden and the CDC temporarily extended the eviction ban through October 3rd in communities with high levels of COVID transmission due to the Delta variant. What will this mean for Bronxites, and what are their rights right now?
So I've been informing everyone, since it has yet to be extended, that they please apply for, if they owe rent arrears, for the Ewrap assistance. This will stay the court case if there is one. Also, they should apply for the CDC declaration form. They will fill it out and send a copy to the landlord. Please maintain a copy. This will also stay the eviction until October 3rd. If they do not do these and are not protected, this could lead to mass evictions throughout the state.
And we definitely don't want that. You know, our Bronx courts, we don't want them to be packed with eviction cases and people facing the loss of their home. So if this can prevent it, then please apply. Without further ado, please tell us about this Ewrap program.
So since June 1st, NAICA is one of two agencies in the Bronx that have been assisting tenants with submitting Ewrap applications. In order to qualify, the tenants must be owing rent. They must be below the 80 AMI, which is the area median income. So, example, a family of one, they must earn less than $66,850. And we can provide the numbers if anybody has any questions regarding other incomes, and they can just call NAICA at our hotline and we'll give them more information. Also, they have to provide us information regarding their income, their lease, their birth certificates, their socials, if they have any. They have to give us ID for the applicant, show us proof of what the arrears are. So example, rent receipt, rent breakdown. I want to reiterate, because we've said this over and over again and it's still becoming a problem, citizenship is not a requirement. You do not have to provide a social if you do not have one. But please, I know I've had some calls at the hotline that said, hey, I'm applying for my citizenship papers. I just want to make sure this is okay. Call your immigration attorney, or you can call the public charge hotline. Ask these questions. The public charge hotline is 1-800-354-0365. I'd rather you safe and make sure that it's okay to apply before you apply and then find out, wow, this affected my paperwork that I was applying for, my citizenship. So please do that. Also, we've been told that the program is open until the funds are exhausted. As of yet, they have not been exhausted. And yes, people have told me, I've heard, that they applied June 1st and they still haven't heard. The approval started coming in about 2 weeks ago. That was the first approval. And yes, it had taken a while. And I think it's with any new program, it takes a while to get underway for the people who are staffing it to understand how to review an application. What's a good application? What's not? So within the last 2 weeks, we started to get approvals for our clients. It's been exciting all around in NAICA. We're seeing approvals left and right. And also I heard, like, we haven't seen any, but we've heard there's been at least one denial. If they receive a denial, there will be information on the notice of how to appeal that denial. But with the approvals, like I said, it was taking about 6 to 8 weeks. Now it should be taking, they told us, 4 to 6 weeks, because they've streamlined the process a little bit better, which is great, because people were calling me panicked because they applied June 1st and hadn't heard anything. And so we are, like I said, one of the agencies assisting in the Bronx tenants. So this means that it is an online application. Obviously, not everyone in the Bronx has accessibility to the internet, to a computer, or are just hesitant around technology,
Right.
which is why we have our hotline number and our email address that they can reach out to us. And if they want us to assist them, we will do it virtually. So we keep everyone safe. We will ask all the questions while we're doing the application online over the phone. So it's very low tech. We'll call you, we'll say, okay, we'll start the application together, we'll do it, and we'll submit it for you. And then if they cannot, they can also take pictures of their documents and send them to us via email. But if they cannot, we also make appointments. We have a queue, we make an appointment, and the tenants are coming in person. So we do, on an average day, have at least 10 to 15 clients who will come in at their scheduled appointment. They're like 15, 20-minute appointments where we will take copies of all their documents and upload them for them. And we will give you your application number, your confirmation numbers, just so you feel more positive that everything's going well.
Got it. Thank you for that, Marlen. And what types of documentation do people need in order to apply? Can you specify what they need to prepare?
So example, for proof of income, it could be pay stubs, it could be W-2, it could be your income tax from last year. If you have no income, you can attest a self-attestation, which you can get notarized, or we can even, when they come to our office, we have staff who will notarize for them, saying that you currently have no income. They can have SSI award letter, it can be an unemployment letter. These are all proof of income. If they have the birth certificates for themselves as well as the family members, if they have a social for themselves as well as the family members, an ID for the applicant only. Yet again, New York City provides those IDs. If you are undocumented, you can get a New York City ID. The lease, if they do not have one, at least something showing what the rent amount is. So I've had people say, well, I don't have a lease. Well, we just need to see what is the monthly rent as well as what you owe. So we don't want to submit our application if we're not clear in the numbers and what's owed. Also, if they owe Con Edison as well as rent, we can do that application for them at the same time. So I've had clients coming in and owing $8,000 in Con Edison, and that is done in conjunction with rent arrears. So that's a big aid when people are out there owing so much in electricity bills and utility bills. So I let them know, but unfortunately it has to be in conjunction with owed rent. If they do not and they only owe utility, I'm still encouraging them to go to Access HRA or go to call 301 for HRA and get a one-shot deal done for that.
Well, that's good to know. Thank you for that information. And how and when will Ewrap funds be released? What's the process for funding releasing? Is it going straight to the tenant, straight to the landlord? Who's it going to?
It is going to the landlord. So this is a two-step process. So the tenant does their portion, they're given the application number, and then the landlord must do their portion. The tenant is under no responsibility to have to call their landlord to say, you must apply and do your part. OTDA is doing that, but we are encouraging them. If you know your landlord, you have a good relationship, call them, let them know you've done it, because it may be a couple of days before they're informed. So those couple of days are the days where the tenants are like, wait, my landlord hasn't done it yet. So we've encouraged them, hey, if you do have a good relationship, reach out to your landlord, let them know you've done your portion, and they can, as long as you give them the application number, they can start their portion. Right. But OTDA is calling the landlord. Once both portions are done, it will be reviewed, and then if everything's great, it'll be approved. We've been told that tenants can now make an OTDA account, so that way they can look at their status, they can resume applications. In the beginning, there was only the ability to submit the application once. Now you can actually resume it as long as you have an OTDA account. So that means you can start your application, stop for a day or two, and then resume it later. But this information will be in there. So it'll say whether it's approved, whether it's under review, whether it's approved and payment has been made or payment is pending, or whether it's been denied. And this will let you have that information to say, okay, let me call and find out why was it denied. And hopefully you'll be getting the notice, which is what they've told us, directly to you. And that notice will explain why you've been denied and also what the appeals process is, because you can appeal a denial.
Got it.
And the money will go directly, to the utility company or to the landlord. I'm sorry, I didn't answer that.
No, thank you for that, for clearing that up. So I have a pressing question as well, Marlen. So can tenants be evicted if they have a pending application with Ewrap, or are they protected?
Right now, they're protected. Now, what we've heard is that they're protected as long as it's pending and then eventually approved. That's why I'm saying if it is denied, please reach out, try to do that, the information regarding the appeal, look at it, trying to follow through with an appeal, because it is really important, because that's how the stay, you are protected and the stay is in effect.
Got it. And can you share the importance of community organizations such as NAICA assisting community members with this process, and also through your free housing legal services and eviction prevention program, if you can just share that as well?
Well, we've been pretty vital. We're one of two, like I said, in the Bronx who are funded to assist with Ewrap application. And we've been pretty vital, which I was not expecting. I knew a lot of the younger generation would be able to submit these applications on their own online.
Right.
But we've had a large majority of that younger population come to us saying, we just don't understand how to navigate this application and we need help. And they call us, we assist them, like I said, over our phone lines and help them do the application. They don't know how to upload the documents. And this is elderly and young all across the board saying, I don't know how to upload these documents. The site is confusing. We've been doing it so long at this point, and we were trained that we know how to basically navigate. And when there is a problem, we have the proper people to reach out to an OTDA to say, we're having an issue, this is not going through, or I did this application and I don't see the documents, and we can get feedback for them.
Yes.
So that's also assisting us, because I know some people have had issues with the OTDA hotline, which I'm sure you heard at the hearing, that they called and either different operators sometimes give you different information. Or I've had people on language where most of my staff is primarily bilingual. So we've able to communicate with a large population in their language. They call sometimes a hotline and they can't reach somebody very quickly in their own language, which becomes burdensome and also becomes frustrating for them.
Right.
So they can reach out to us, call us, and we'll assist them. I've even checked status for people, even though that should be something they should call TDA. We do it all, basically. We will assist them as best we can. We also assist landlords. I want to make sure landlords know that. We are also assisting small landlords to apply. So we've had landlords in our office and we are uploading their documents and assisting them as well.
Thank you for all that, Marlen, and your work is valuable in our community. Thank you for providing this information. Before we go, how can people contact NAICA at this time for help with the Ewrap application? Please provide that information.
They can call our Ewrap hotline, which is 718-866-0038. They can also email us at NAICAEwrap@NAICANY.org. And if they need assistance with our legal department, which yes, I failed to say that, we do have attorneys. We will represent you if you're in housing court. They can also call a tenant helpline at 718-538-4830. They can speak to an attorney and that will give them information. So whether or not they're in court, they can actually get assistance from an attorney. So example, they need help understanding their current lease. That's something you can ask an attorney about. Or if you do need help with an attorney, one of the attorneys on the line will give you a referral to our agency so that we can have assist you with an attorney.
Perfect. Thanks again, Marlen. Marlen Valarezo is the Executive Director of Legal Services at NAICA. We'll be right back here on Open BXRX Tuesday.